Course of your lifetime, you've been through so many highs, so many lows. You now with your wife. Talk about your faith in God. Did you always just have a strong faith that He was gonna figure it out for you, or when did you, as you see your life play out today, when did you really start to believe and believe that He had a
All right,
purpose for you?
I grew up in church. I wasn't a church baby. I wasn't no pastor's kid or nothing like that. But I had a grandma that was a deacon. She used to always bring us to church and stuff like that. So, my foundation was always in the church. I was always, Christian. I was always saved. But, I had traumas in my life. I went through certain things in my life, which a lot of people go through, which make them doubt, or which will make them believe like, yo, this he ain't real. If God was real, if Jesus was real, then why am I living this type of life? So, as I got older, I
Yeah.
started to go astray. I started, when knowledge and information come, especially when the internet age, you start reading about certain things, you start seeing things on the internet, which has some truth in it, but it's not full truth. So you got all types of information out here
Right.
that really played a key role in me going astray. And with me going astray, like in college and stuff like that, it was one of the it was the foundation of why my life went the way it went. And I always say like I believe God was on my he had his hand on me because after all I've been through, he knew I was going to come back. He knew I just had to go through certain things because it was out of my rebellion. It was out of um, my own free will to go out here and neglect what I've been brought up as. So it was in 2018.
Right.
This is when me and my wife really started like um, talking or whatever. I believe it was around that time, but I was in Vietnam. I was on drugs. I was high. I decided I was gonna, and I didn't even tell this part, but I'm gonna tell it on here. That's cool. Um, I was high.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. Of
told
course.
myself like, yo, if God's real, I want something to happen in my life to have to cause me to change my life. I don't want to be the same Joe no more. So I started looking on YouTube. People was talking about
Yeah.
doing acid and stuff like that. So I found an acid guy, a person I sold acid in Vietnam. So mind you, I'm in Vietnam by myself. I'm on acid in my room, and I could have lost my life that night, but it was only because of God. God intervened that night, and I'm not gonna go into a deep story. We could talk about that some other time, but I'm gonna just summarize it. God intervened in that when I was in that room by myself. When I felt like I was going to commit suicide, I was going to jump off a ledge, and he came in that room. It wasn't no some guy came in my room and no, it was his audible voice like yo.
Right.
He told me two times like yo, break that curse. And the curse he was talking about, my dad right now is in treatment right now because of drugs, man. He been on drugs his whole life, and that same spirit came on my brother, took his life. That same spirit in my life was
Right.
trying to take me out, but God intervened and was like, "Nah, you got to break that curse." And ever since then, I knew God had His hands on me, and I chose that night, yo, since God saved my life, I'm going to do whatever he told me to. He tells me to do. I'm gonna do what's right now. I'm gonna do what can save a lot of other young men. I'm gonna do it because look, I could have not been here. I could have wasted my life. This how I'm not gonna say my brother wasted his life, but I could have ended up like my brother. I could have ended up like my dad. But God chose me to change, you know, the lineage from here on out with my kids and with myself. So that's what made me really,
For sure.
you know, go and seek God and seek His face and really get into the Word because that Word is real, and I can't make anybody believe God. That's not my job. All I can do is be the
Right.
example. All I can do is
Right.
live my life and show people that He's real and how I live. That's not mean I don't struggle. I struggle just like all three of us
For
struggle.
sure.
All four of us struggle. Struggle, it's life. But
Right.
I'm still
Exactly.
try to live a certain way to where I can bring somebody out who, when they first meet me, they're not gonna understand my story. I'm telling y'all, they're gonna see me who I am. But if I tell them my story,
For
they're
sure.
gonna have the encouragement to change and change their lifestyle and be better because they see somebody else who made it through. So that's where my strength come
For
from.
sure.
That's where, I really, my faith has really been strong, and I think that's my job. That's my job from now on, and that's how I'm gonna walk it out from here on out. Yeah, we can talk about sports. For sports is always gonna be my number one, but at the same time, it's a lot of wisdom I'm gonna give. It's a lot of gems I'm going to give because like me and you
Heck yeah.
and Chris and Mel that need us. They need us not for what we do for our sports, but what
For
we can
sure.
bring, bro. And we all got something. We all got something we can bring to anybody. You know what I'm saying?